lights are here to make people like really uncomfortable in their sleep. Public art, huh? Also, look at where they put these concrete partitions. Awful.
Getting older as a gay person is just more and more of your friends not having the same gender or sexuality that they used to. Like, hey girl, long time no see. Have you had any major shifts in your fundamental self-concept lately?
Hi, this is Garfield, and no one can come to the phone because a gang of angry gerbils is ransacking the house. Please leave a message and call Animal Control.
I've been seeing the argument online a lot that what's going on in Gaza directly relates to us as Americans because the United States is funding Israel with our tax dollars. And while that's true, I don't think that provides the full picture of what's going on. Like, the primary issue I have with that framing is that it implies that the relationship is one-sided, when the United States and Israel are actually collaborating on like a multinational project that involves militarization, racial profiling, and mass surveillance. If you follow me, you might know that I've been doing some Stop Cop City organizing the past year, and I want to share something that a lot of people in the movement know, but I feel like people outside don't really know as much. For the past 30 years, the state of Georgia, through Georgia State University, has been running a program called the Georgia International Law Enforcement Exchange, which kind of is what you would expect. It's basically an exchange program, but instead of it being students who are learning about other cultures and languages, it's police officers that are exchanging notes on how to police their citizens correctly. And though it involves a lot of governments like China, Egypt, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, its like biggest partnership is with the state of Israel, specifically Israeli police. And like the literal founder of this program has said explicitly through this program that Israeli operations in Gaza are a legitimate defensive action against a continuous onslaught of terror that has not been stopped by any other means. He has also accused the silent majority of Muslims as being complicit in Islamic terrorism's presence in the West. I mean, it's not just that. He's literally complained that the First Amendment doesn't let the FBI target mosques. He's also accused Arab American advocacy groups as basically supporting terrorism. And this stuff is effective. Like, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation director has said himself that a partner nation has taught him that the primary threat to democratic countries was terrorism by radical Islam. And racial profiling is just one strategy that this program teaches. They also teach militarization, using certain tactics that even the IDF uses, like racking firearms against protesters, also encouraging police officials to direct their officers to flash the blue lights on the roof of their vehicles while patrolling certain neighborhoods. And everyone knows what we're referring to when we say certain neighborhoods, right? And we can't forget about the surveillance state, like when the Atlanta Police Department, after a trip to Israel, decided to make this video integration center that basically consolidates a bunch of footage from public and private security cameras that they said explicitly was modeled after the command and control center in the old city of Jerusalem. This is all culminating in a $90 million, 85-acre police training facility that's being built right outside of Atlanta. And this was never put up to a vote because the majority of locals are against it, by the way. Something I feel like is not talked about enough in contemporary American history is how after the entire country erupted in protest against the brutality and murder of Black people in America, the state and federal government's response to this was not to scale back the police force in any way. Instead, the response was to exponentially increase the funding of the police in America. And it's not just Georgia. I guarantee you, no matter where you are in America, there is a cop training facility or a prison being built near you. And there are so many programs that the United States runs in collaboration with Israel. I just want us to be really clear, like, yes, the United States plays a huge role in supporting Israel and in contributing to the occupation of Palestine. But none of these inhumane methods are localized to that region, because those same strategies are being used on Americans here domestically. I want to end this with a post that someone sent me that's based off of a protest chant in Algeria that says, "We're not freeing Palestine. Palestine is freeing us." Like, we are not the saviors in this situation. Though obviously we can't understand what it's like to be in Gaza at this time, we are very much living under the same system that is orchestrating all of this. And I promise you, we may have the luxury of feeling like there's distance between us and the news right now, but this is a lot closer and this is a lot more immediate than we think.
Kill him. He got you fucked up.
Ooh, the devil be busy, he be working.
I had come across this song. I'm from outer space, I got Milky Way for forever. and it's a song called Jericho. I don't know why, but I can't stop listening to it. Oh, I'm so hypnotized, like she's angelic. This is Lucifer. He is singing to a generation, trying to get us to identify with him. You guys, in minutes, when I came home from my vacation, cleaning the house, I got rewrite lyrics.
Number one, I bet you the Lord told her to rewrite those lyrics just like the Lord told those settlers manifest destiny. They write the spread from the Atlantic to the Pacific. Number two, we know preferred pronouns is a thing because somebody call y'all father, God, or she, y'all gonna be upset, right? Nico preferred pronoun is they. That's important. Number three, I want y'all to see what's at play right here. Colonialism and Christianity is able to inscribe the devil or you being a heathen, and that's supposed to justify the psyche of them taking what's yours, you see what I'm saying, and using it for their benefit, you know?
I got rewrite lyrics and it went viral. Hi, I've been saved by grace. I got Jesus on my mind and his blood running through my veins. And when he moves, he makes all hell rumble. He won't ever fall, never stumble. He's coming soon, so you better get humble. Bend your knee or like Jericho crumble. A lot of Christians said thank you, like I knew something was off, but I didn't know why. I am famous on TikTok as a colonizer, white supremacist, racist, fake Christian. I've been called Jezebel. I've been called everything by Christians and non-Christians.
I used to attend this Christian sports camp called Kanakuk KA when I was a little kid. You feel me? I was even a little counselor for a little bit. But peep game, it used to always bother me how they use this little binary of being secular and being of the God, you know what I'm saying, or non-secular. And they used to always do very little weird things for black culture like this woman is doing right here. The things that are palatable, digestible, you feel me, that I can incorporate from your artistic expressions, we gonna add that to the mix and I'm gonna benefit from it the way I can. But the things that I find distasteful and the things that I don't like and don't understand, I'm gonna say it's the devil, I'm gonna say it's ungodly, and I'm gonna say that you should leave it of the world. They might hit you with the Romans 12 too. You're supposed to transform, you feel me, your mind, and do not conform to the patterns of this world, but transform, you feel me, by renewal of your mind. You feel me? They might walk you down the entire Romans road, you feel me? All roads lead to Rome, while they demonize your culture. Shout out to Donnell Wrights, man. I seen his video where Nico talked about how they got their inspiration, their voice, you see what I'm saying, from the church. So to see that this woman is trying to weaponize the church against Nico is kind of baffling. Very on brand though. It's American as apple pie, being able to use Christian doctrines and understandings to be able to extrapolate a little bit of colonialism, a little bit of cultural appropriation in the name of sweet baby white Jesus. Ooh-wee.
I don't like makeup. I'm against makeup. I don't think it's good for women, and I don't think they really need to be using it, honestly. I think it takes away.
That's awesome.
Makeup it's capitalizing on women's insecurities when it's something that they can easily fix. I think it takes away from a woman's natural beauty, and also it is so bad for you. Like, you think about how skin absorbs things. When you read the ingredients on a foundation bottle, what is in it? You can't even pronounce it. It's a bunch of crap that you're putting on your face. And that is in turn making your skin worse. So you have to keep buying more foundation to cover up what it's creating.
Native American anything, okay? Just throw that out. Avoid anything regarding the G slur. Please don't dress up as a Mexican man, woman, anything like that. Don't even think about dressing up as a geisha. Do not buy this fucking wig.
I don't know about y'all, but this whole video makes me want to dress up in the costumes that she's showing.
I love Halloween because you can tell a lot about a person just from what costume they choose to wear. Some people have just been itching all year to be racist. They've just been looking for an excuse to be racist, and so they'll put on one of these offensive Halloween costumes and be like, it's not racist, it's a Halloween costume. Wearing a culture as a costume is the offensive part. I think people wear these costumes because it gives them plausible deniability to be like, it's Halloween, it's just a little bit of fun, I'm not being offensive, I'm just wearing a costume. When actually they know why these costumes are offensive, and like he says, he only wants to wear it because he knows someone else is gonna get triggered by it. It reminds me of this certain YouTube video.
Happy Halloween! We're here at OSU to ask people today what they think of my costume. And I'm here with a very special guest.
Hey y'all, I'm Tom. I'm the uncle from Toy Story of Woody.
and I'm here to greet my fellow white people.
She only wore this costume because she knows that it's racist and that it's going to provoke a reaction from people. It's so funny to me when someone does something offensive and then they act surprised when other people around them are offended. It's like, you knew the reaction you were going to provoke in people.
How big does your ego have to be to sit there and tell other people that they can't appreciate culture or have fun with it because you deem it offensive? There's nothing to be offended about. Why is it offensive if somebody dresses up like a different culture? Why?
It's because someone else's culture isn't something for you to claim as a costume. Cultural appropriation is really messy, so a good rule of thumb is that if a culture that has been historically colonialist is appropriating another culture that has been historically exploited by colonialism, then we run into some problems. But like Bollywood movies appropriating American culture, it's not really a big deal. But Gwen Stefani dressing up as a sexy Native American warrior, that's less okay. And you can absolutely play around with other cultures and have fun with it and play dress up as long as you're respectful and tasteful with it. I mean, this was me and my friend last year. I was King Louis and she was Marie Antoinette. Technically, this is cultural appropriation, but no one really saw a problem with it. And we were literally in Paris when we took this picture. And I mean, I think we kind of ate with this. There are so many other costumes to choose from beyond just being a racist stereotype. You don't have to be a Native American or a Mexican person or a Jamaican person. Marie Antoinette, slay. Elizabeth I, slay. Halloween is not the time to be racist or offensive just because you think you can get away with it. Make better choices.
What are some red flags in leftists that I look out for? Now, if you fall into one of any of these categories, this doesn't mean you're a bad leftist and you're not failing my purity test, because this isn't a purity test. I'm honestly just trying to illuminate some of the blind spots that you may have or others you know may have, so that we can all learn and grow as leftists. Okay, now that we got that out the way, here we go. If they watch and heavily identify with Vosh, that's a red flag. Vosh actively denies white supremacy and falls into class reductionist mindsets a lot. And when people call him out on it, he doesn't really hold himself accountable or ever apologize. So I am pretty wary of people that watch Vosh. Building off of that, if they're always talking about reading theory, but they only ever read the works of Marx, Engels, Kropotkin, or other white men, that's a red flag. I'd recommend Wretched of the Earth by Frantz Fanon, this book by Huey P. Newton, Women, Race, and Class by Angela Davis, and Assata Shakur's autobiography. If you're a white leftist especially, it's really important to understand the relationship between race and class. And if you're a leftist and a man, it's really important to read works by women in order to understand the role that women have historically played in revolution, and often how their voices have been marginalized and silenced, in order to understand how that plays out today, and how you may be playing a role in that further marginalization. And finally, the biggest leftist red flag is not liking me. I mean, look how cute I am.
Just a reminder to everyone that being a gypsy for Halloween is cultural appropriation, so don't do it.
You know, I've come to the realization that us Roma, gypsies, and non-Roma live in two completely different worlds. Because see, to you, that statement she just said probably sounds ridiculous. I mean, what is that? Gypsy culture? Aren't those like mythical beings? Those like witches or free-spirited people or travelers? Or those funny wedding people on TLC? That's not a culture. You see, when I and every single other Romani person hears that word, gypsy, we hear, you dirty gypsy. Go back to India, you gypsy crow. Gypsies aren't human, y'all are the pests of the world. Gypsies are all criminals and beggars, they don't contribute anything to society. The cops were right in taking the life of that innocent gypsy. They're all criminals anyway. People tell me we need to rid the world of y'all gypsies. A mustache man should have finished us off in the 1940s. When I hear the word gypsy, I hear the whips cracking on the backs of my ancestors, who had to endure 500 years of chattel slavery simply for daring to be born dark-skinned and of Indian origin. I hear that word being yelled at them to remind them that they're not human, that they don't deserve rights, that they deserve to be subservient. And now, 200 years later, still used the same way. And you might say, oh, what a sad way to live. And you know what? I agree. I wish I could live in a fantasy world where that word is just mythical. I wish that my people and I didn't have to be reminded every single waking moment how that word is used to dehumanize us and how that word is a racial slur. You see, to you, these costumes may seem like they're fun, they're cute, they're not hurting anybody. But to us, we see racial caricatures that have been used for centuries to dehumanize and mock our culture. We don't dress like that. That's mocking our culture. Those costumes have been used to ridicule and over-sexualize Romani women for their traditional clothing for centuries. That's their purpose, that's why they were created. Our people, our culture were seen as a joke, something to mock, something to dehumanize. Even to this day, Romani women wearing traditional clothing, or even a semblance of it, are racially profiled and are denied basic human rights. This was a sign posted just 1 month ago outside of a gas station in Los Angeles, saying no gypsy women in long shoplifting skirts allowed in the store. You see, when non-Roma wear caricatures of our culture, they're praised. When Romani people dare to wear our traditional clothing, it's long shoplifting skirts, where criminals were not allowed. We can't even go buy our groceries in peace because of the way that we're dressed. We are not mythical beings, and our culture is not a costume. So what that creator said in that first clip is 100% right, even if they ignorantly used a slur to describe it. But according to the comments, it's not that deep, because gypsies are swindlers. So for everyone propagating that colonialist phrase, culture is meant to be shared, which by the way, says who? Not like there are thousands of closed practices around the world. If you really want to share our culture, share it. Give up your basic human rights. Live in a racially segregated ghetto on the outskirts of society. Get denied jobs, education, even being allowed to go into stores. So no, there is nothing appreciative about wearing a caricature of a marginalized racial group as a costume for Halloween. I understand that most of y'all had no idea about any of this. This is all new, probably first time you've been hearing about Romani people. And that's okay, I don't blame you for ignorance. But now you know. And if after all of this information you still choose to dress up as a gypsy, hamokar, whatever. But now you know why it's bad. And if you continue to do something that's bad and that's harming people, that just says a lot more about you than it says about us.